All right, so now we've gone on to part two of the lesson. Now, if you looked at the first part of the lesson, you understand that some people will stop at that level. Once they're ignored or once they are subjected to some form of disrespect, concerning their request or their petition, they've had enough faith to state what they want. They understand the goal, they understand who to address, but that first obstacle has knocked you out. Don't be discouraged because we've all been at that level of faith. Somebody tells us no, somebody closes the door in our face, somebody says it's not possible. We begin to doubt. We begin to look at the situation and say, is it really worth going on? They didn't say anything, which is in some cases worse than being told no. At least when you know it's no, it's a situation where there's this firm no. Is you can either say, you know what, look, you can try to talk that person into it or continue, or you can say, you know what, they said no, it's not possible. But what Jesus does, he doesn't say anything at all. We're again in Matthew 15, chapter, last lesson at verse 22 and verse 23. So decide if you are that person that, I don't want to say quit, but I want to say that that first obstacle really affects you or really turns you around, or even in some cases determines that you're not willing to go forward with the request, you're not willing to go forward with the idea, the business model. You know, sometimes you have to pitch your business idea to 6 or 7 different people, and you only need one yes. You only need one opportunity, and that opportunity, that one yes, will be what launches you into the stratosphere. You could become that person that is successful, not because everybody said yes, but because one person said yes. In this case, you really have to wonder if the woman understood that there was really no alternative. If she didn't get this request taken care of or it wasn't granted, who else was there to go to? Doctors, may not have been able to help her with the spiritual matter. And so we have to decide where we at in our faith. Basic level faith, yes, you can identify. Yes, you can state a goal. Yes, you can come with a request or a petition rather. But level two or more advanced level of faith will be about adapting. That didn't go over well. Nobody listened to me. Nobody acknowledged me. It didn't go the way I thought it would go. So now it's about adapting. It's about understanding that, okay, I didn't get the response that I wanted. I'm going to go to another level of faith. I'm not going to simply back up or stunt my own progress by going backwards. I'm going to say, you know what, I'm going to push forward. Anybody that's really been successful, it's not about the first initial somebody accepting the idea. Some people, light bulb or whatever invention you want to talk about, they all had a level of, no, I don't believe that it's possible. And in this case, Jesus doesn't say anything. So the woman, she begins to adapt. Let's read in Matthew chapter 15, verse 23. But he answered her not a word. We're talking about Jesus, and his disciples came and besought him, saying, send her away, for she cried after us. But he answered in verse 24, say, but he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So she's not even a part of his mission, and it's unplanned, and it's not something that he has incorporated into his thoughts. And in business, there are some things that when you come with a request, they'll say, well, that's not part of our purpose, or that's not part of our mission, that's not part of our business plan. And here you are coming with an alternative, or you come in with a new idea or a new way of doing business, a new way of representing clients. And so what happens is you'll deal with that in business. You'll deal with that in ministry. Well, we weren't, that's not part of our plan. That's not part of our going forward. And that doesn't mean that you should give up. That doesn't mean that you should say, well, it's not part of the plan. I'll leave it alone. No, that idea, that spark, that um, understanding that a need for something new should allow you to say, you know, that first obstacle, I'm not gonna back up. I'm not gonna quit. I have an idea that has value. I have an idea that a goal stated that I want to see accomplished, and I'm willing to go beyond being told no to see it accomplished. So when he says, "Look, you're not part of the goal," in verse 25, he says, uh, then came she and worshipped him, saying, "Lord, help me." She wouldn't, she wouldn't back down, and she begins to worship. She begins to go. She said, "Look, I have something else. I'm. She's being creative. She's saying, "Look, I will do something else and adapt to the situation or the climate I'm in." So many people, when they're dealing with faith, don't understand that faith is also about creativity. It is not about conventional thinking. It is not about doing what somebody else has done. It's not about following a plan that somebody else followed. This is a unique plan. This is you. This is not everybody else. You're not everybody else. You don't think like everybody else. That is what makes you different. But it also is what makes you intelligent, is that you understand that this is something that is unique. This is something that was placed in me that allows me to think differently about even traditional roles and values because of who I am. And so what she says is, I worship you. I just need your help. I need your investment. Sometimes you're looking at an investor and you can't come with a plan that is a rerun. Somebody's done that 20 times before. You got to be a little bit more creative. You got to be a little bit more, you have to formulate an idea that is going to capture that person's like, wow, okay, I didn't look at it that way. You have to be so much better and so much more creative than everybody else. Everybody else has come in with a slideshow. You come in with a demonstration. You come in with an example, or you role play, or something that is outside of the box, as we say. And that will allow you to capture the person's attention. It will allow you to engage that person on a different level. And you say, well, worship and business are different. Well, you have to understand something, that when you're dealing with people in positions of power, it's not that you worship them, but you are giving them understanding that their investment and their input, even their educational background is of value to you. You're not worshiping them, but you are giving them a form of honor in the fact that you're pitching this idea to them. You wouldn't pitch the idea to them if they didn't have value. So the initial obstacle, the secondary obstacle, did not deter her or turn her back. You have to decide, are you willing to continue to advance your faith to achieve a stated goal? She understood that he had value. She understood that this is something that only he could do. And so we have to understand that we have to be creative. We have to go back into our talent and do something different. We don't, even in ministry, don't try to be someone that you're not. In business, don't try to be someone that you're not. Don't try to use big words if that's not that's not how you get your point across. value yourself and value your talents and say, this is the way I'm going to speak about it because this is who I am. This is going to make me different than everybody else that is going to come before you today. So I want you to understand something. Value yourself, and then the people that you actually speak to and are going to ask to invest, value them also. So we'll end this lesson at part 2. I'll be recording part 3 shortly. Thank you so much.